So fucking much.
You remember little 11-year-old Noah being hopeful about these games? You remember that? We
Ah.
talked about it. We talked about it at it last month.
Mm-hmm.
Of yeah, none of the things he wanted happened. He would have hated. He would have hated it
He would
too,
have hated these games.
and probably would have made in a cringy rant about it. On it.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah, let's see. What do I have to say about BDSP that hasn't been said?
it's like it is like they're like the laziest and most cash grabby remakes ever put out.
Yeah, no, platinum content.
No.
No, throw that.
Have champion team have Elite Four rematches with their platinum teams. You can't use Houndoom or any of the new evolution.
Oh, you can use Houndoom.
Oh yeah, right. That's in the underground.
Yeah,
You
that's.
can't. What was the other one they had?
There's
And there's one other poker platinum line.
so there's a few other.
There was literally one other platinum line that wasn't a.
Altaria.
Altaria. You can't use Altaria. You can't use most of the things that got whoever
You can use
relatives.
yeah. You can use. I mean, there's you can use some of them. They gotta have to be really weird about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use all of them. Also, having DPs is availability,
Which is terrible.
which means you can't use Garchomp efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Use Garchomp yeah. Since that requires strength, and
Yep.
which you need 6 badges for.
Yay.
Unlike in Platinum, where you can access the area before with just 2. Oh. The fucking but the extra content they did have of is fucking dumb. Look at what's that? You can I see you can there's gym leader rematches. There's gym leader rematches,
Fun.
but there's no purpose to them.
It's just.
Uh-uh.
What are you doing? Grinding for Elite Four round 3?
Oh yeah, right. Because as round 2 had to be the platinum team. He was round 3 was he was the national dex X teams. Was teams that used the national dex.
And like, fine. I guess there's some cool teams here, but like, that's like a moot point to the rest of the experience.
Also, this game is just kind of really anti-casual.
Like, oh my fucking god, the difficulty spike.
The Elite Four are actually the Elite Four are all have all have perfect IVs, optimal natures, and ideal spread EV spreads.
It's like, holy fucking shit. You can't just do that after having everything else in the game. I am at 0 IV. He's random. He's neutral natures, or is a no EV.
Oh no, none of that is fit. Actually, that's like throughout the whole game.
Wait, really?
As they gradually scale.
Mm.
I
appreciate the attempt, but like the massive jump from the up to the Elite Four is just
another problem. They don't give you the tools. They don't give you the tools in the main game, and for that.
It felt like any meaningful new content.
And yeah, fucking Elite Four round 3. Oh, look at that. We now have another tie. Look, we have another tie with Red. And for strongest trainer.
Like, this is what you.
This is this all. I understand that they probably weren't allowed
to change much, considering it was outsourced.
Or the fact it's just also the fucking early purchase bonus.
What's the platinum outfit?
I hate you. No, you will never be that. Stop pretending you are. The platinum set is a fucking slap in the face. This is what you wanted, right? And you want platinum content, and here you go.
Oh, and like
Uh,
I was gonna say something. I don't remember what I was supposed
uh,
to. It's like
the platinum.
there's something about new content. Like this is what you follow up Heart Gold and Soul Silver and
Or,
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with.
mm-hmm.
The games that added like boatloads of new content, and then you just have this travesty.
Mm-hmm. God,
Like way to say expectations high and slam them and dunk them into the abyss.
God, that's so, what a horrible anniversary.
I know.
Eh, Oh, at least we got Legends 2 months later, right?
Yeah. I mean, the game was BDSP was just a ploy, so Game Freak had more time to let them to work on Legends.
Because of its weird.
Because it was practically unplayable when the game came out.
Yeah. Because what? Yeah.
Up front, fine, but like, it doesn't mean we have to appreciate these games on their own.
No, fuck these games. Ames, don't worry, I'll be shitting on these games in the future.
Just wait for that. Whenever we get our next remakes announced.
Mm-hmm. All right. That aside,
That concludes the seething hatred tier.
I fucking hate these games.
And now on to the problematic tier.
C. Flawed.
Flawed, which is most of the series. Spoiler alert.
Doesn't give the best impression, does it?
I will specify that these are all pre-Gen 5.
All of these
Everything in this tier is pre-Gen 5, back when balancing wasn't what it is nowadays.
Yeah, so we got...
Starting with, of course, the entirety of Generation 1, to no one's surprise.
I don't need to say anything.
Because, like, if you ignore nostalgia and, like, that these were the first games, stand on their own, they kind of fucking suck.
These...
There's, like, so many questionable game design choices here.
Is there fucking full... There is an absurd amount of. These are some of the buggiest games. Some of the buggiest games ever made.
More than 20% of the Pokédex is X is the near useless poison type. And there's only one Ghost and Dragon line.
Movesets are fucking terrible. With most Pokemon some Pokemon not even getting stabbed.
Take Scyther in Red and Blue.
Or I don't know, take a Rhydon not learning any rock or ground by level up. Same goes for Electrode.
I still think Scyther's the biggest offender for me, because if you look at its stats, it's really good, but then you see its god awful moveset.
I mean, yeah, just poor balancing and just fucking really poorly designed.
Miserable. Miserable balancing.
But I'd still rather play them over the D tier games.
Yeah, so here they are in C. They're basically the bottom of C tier.
Then there's GSC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, putting them all together, because Crystal is the most isn't really that much different. Crystal is the most similar third version, and we've gotten.
Just new Suicune content.
And other stuff. Of no doesn't have any super major changes. Is to the game.
Like, they're basically arguably worse balancing than Gen 1.
And the fucking level, good God, the level curve.
They fixed some fundamental game design and flaws, but oh my God, the balancing is terrible.
Yeah, most of the new Pokemon just fucking suck.
Like, genuinely, why are most of the Johto native Pokemon so bad?
And the ones you can get.
It honestly feels like they only exist to make the Kanto Pokemon look better by comparison.
And yeah, of course, there's the obligatory level curve.
Oh, that's miserable.
Oh yeah, I'm fighting level 30. I am fighting level 30. Is by end game.
This is commonly known to be terrible.
Oh, and also the Elite Four is lower level. The gym leaders are lower level than the Elite Four.
Yeah, the Kanto gym. Clarification:
The
the Kanto gym leaders are lower level.
With the exception of Blue,
who are lower level than the Elite Four you had to face to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Also, Kanto is basically just.
Well, us gym matches. There's no other meaningful content in the region. There's just new encounters and gym leader rematches.
Oh yeah, here. Have a ton of here's a ton of the Jodomons in here. Because we didn't know where to put them.
Because these are added late and we didn't in development, and we didn't know where to put them. Or we made some last minute changes to them, and couldn't. And we're worried they'd upset the balance.
It's yeah. It's also yeah. Also hey. Also here you go. Here you go. Have a here you go. Have a final boss that, a secret boss us that jumps 10 levels. It's like a 20 level jump.
Because that's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
What do we?
No, to be fair, you don't have to. To be fair, you don't have to match Red's levels.
Well, considering
I think
Gen 2 early considering AI moment.
Considering you, yeah, considering you can really you can realistically beat him with a team of even level 60s, either late 50s.
He's especially if you're willing to use items for that, right?
I did that without. I think I did that without. I think I just did that with a team of level 60s.
Yeah.
And in Crystal, I think all under 60.
Yeah, very doable.
It's because stupid AI.
Yeah, the AI is too dumb to take on opponents lower level than it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is an amusing statement to me.
That's the classic era. It sucks. Good old yeah. Yeah, that was the classic era on the list. Now we have.
Now we move into the advanced generation.
Yeah, Ruby and Sapphire
Weren't really better balanced. Well, okay, well they were a bit better balanced. They exist.
I don't know. I don't know that.
Still have a stupid at high level jump between in the final gym and the Elite Four.
Yep.
Where it basically necessitates grinding.
Or availability is fucking dumb. It is really dumb.
Of course.
You're telling me okay? Let me get this straight. I can fight. Wait. Why do I fight him? I fight him Metatite so damn early, but I can't actually obtain one until more than halfway through the game.
How many badges?
6.
Can't obtain one until you have. You fight a Metatite in the second gym, and you can't get one for yourself till you've beaten the 6th gym.
Makes complete sense.
Why would they show you that Pokemon so many hours of gameplay before you're able to obtain it?
To be fair, I'm pretty sure these games, I'm pretty sure the early gens were pretty guilty of that.
Yeah, pretty guilty of taunting you with Pokemon you can't obtain till like 5 more hours of gameplay.
Because I know. Yeah, because Kanto did it too. Does it too?
What was it with like Staryu?
It was like Staryu or Onyx.
Onyx, but like, you don't want to use an Onyx anyways. Metacham's at least a good Pokemon that you'd want to use.
Even if it can't use Psychic Stab.
Yeah, because pre-split moment.
A lot of the stuff in Gen 3 just feels like it was meant
to work with the physical special split. Which hints that the mechanic might have been planned for Gen 3, but they didn't have time to implement it.
because how else do you explain all these dark types being physical? How else would you explain in that?
Just the person writing in the stats forgetting forgetting what types are physical and what types are special. Honestly, actually, I don't blame them. Why Ghost and Dark should have been switched. Shadow Ball drops special defense.
Yes.
And it's a physical move.
Yeah, I feel like that was something they wanted to do. It was early as Gen 2.
And I feel like they didn't switch it. Like, I feel like Dark was always meant to be a physical type.
Yeah,
but they didn't switch it purely out of not confusing players coming in from Gen 1.
With the one ghost move.
Yeah. I'm like, why is Lick not doing as much damage with... Why is Lick doing less damage, doing more damage with Gengar? Or now?
I don't know. Oh no,
it's... Well, nobody would even question that, but okay. Sure,
yeah, it's... And also, it's just... And also, there's like basically not really any extra content and at all. On RS.
It's kind of just you finish the game and then like
I don't know, you
can catch Latios or Latios.
You can go catch Rayquaza.
Catch Latios or Latios and Rayquaza.
Oh,
and that's basically everything you unlocked after beating Steven.
Oh, you got the battle tower.
And the battle tower, I guess.
Have a free build 'em.
It's really like ignoring the legendaries. It's like okay, there's legendaries, cool. There's a gift Pokemon, I guess. There's an endless battle mode that you don't really gain anything significant from at all. It's like, wow, how exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's Ruby and Sapphire.
Emerald. It's basically the same game.
It's sure it does it does add a lot more, or like more double battles.
They feel
really
very forced in a lot of cases.
It was like putting two random. They just put two completely random trainer classes together,
or that have absolutely zero correlation with one another.
Yeah, sure. Tell me what a camper and Ruin Maniac have to do with each other.
Why are these two battling you together?
Or like a psychic and a bird keeper.
What are the EEs?
Which is funny because they have
classes dedicated to that are made to be duos for double bells. We have
we have the twin.
We have twins, junior and senior,
or sis and bro.
The loving couple, the young couple,
young and elder,
young and elder, young couple. We have the oh Jesus. Careful. God, I lost my train of thought there.
Okay, yeah, the
camper or picnicker.
Well, that's not actually a duo.
Well, they can work as a duo. The point is, they were really weird about how they did it, and when they were, when they could have made it feel more natural by using in trainer classes meant for it. I know it's extremely nitpicky, but still.
Also the Pokédex.
Why does it interrupt you automatically without your consent?
Yeah, you can.
And why are you forced to pick up every number, or why can't you decline numbers?
You could do that. You can do that in Johto. Oh, but not here. Let's see. There's also there is the story is extended slightly.
No Kyogre and Groudon are summoned, and both teams are going at it.
And then there's the magma hideout.
It sucks.
It's literally just a cave. It would fucking there's wild encounters too.
Because of course there is.
And then there's the double battle with. Then there's the fucking tag battle with Steven. At the Space Center. Steven is a terrible. Steven's AI is fucking terrible.
What does he usually do?
He doesn't do anything.
Like, what does he? Like, what moves does he select usually?
Or mainly mainly he just doesn't help you.
So he just targets random opponents with random moves.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Yeah, the first multi-battle in the series.
And it's not good.
Is you can this Emerald had the first in-game cutscene.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
I knew I was gonna set an alarm and then forget about it when we were doing the video.
So well, Emerald also had. Well, there is stuff to do in the post game.
You have you
can actually catch the Kyogre and Groudon
on two. In addition to the previous legendaries, your choice between Latios and Latios. Off this time.
Kyogre and thing is the way you run into them is so lame.
You talk to a weather institute guy and go, go to this route.
There've been a strange weather pattern in this one area.
And go to this route, dive spot or cave entrance. and you can talk to you can find legendary. And I guess it's like sort of cool in concept, but it feels kind of bland.
Yeah.
There's like no flair to it at all.
Yeah, just randomly, just in a random spot.
It's like, this feels arbitrary. Because it was.
There's a post-game fight with Steven. Oh, right, because they changed because they made Wallace champion.
So now there are two water specialists in this game, one of which being the final gym leader and then the other being the champion.
What the fuck?
Why did they make this decision? What? I genuinely don't know why they did this.
Sure, they have different teams, but still, it's dumb.
I know.
There's the Battlefront here. Here, the first game to have it.
So that's cool.
I guess. If you have the time.
I'm impatient for it.
There's gym leader rematches.
But they're completely random.
Yeah,
you get the gym leader's numbers, and
you get them registered after beating them,
and they can randomly call you.
Well, you have to battle them. It's only like their final team that actually. It's only their final. They have four different rematch team. They get progressively stronger.
So you have to fight them You have to rematch them 3 times, and then the 4th time they'll actually have their strongest team.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it like this.
Yes, it is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Very dumb.
Yeah.
Actually.
Emerald is just.
Yeah. Emerald is yeah.
Emerald is. Yeah.
It's also a Pokemon game.
All right, then there's a
Fire Red and Leaf Green. Basically everything you can say about Gen 1 one's balance. It's just Gen 1 but less buggy. That's literally it. Gen 1 with bug fixes.
Gen 3 Fire Red and Leaf Green is so painfully faithful.
Or the originals that they show you the evolution screens for Crobat and Blissey, and then say
for some reason they stopped evolving.
For some reason they stopped evolving without actually giving a good explanation for it. Like, just don't show the screen at all. What the hell is this?
Yeah, for some reason they stopped evolving.
And then Eevee cannot evolve into Espeon or Umbreon at all in this game.
Because there's no
day 8 ice cycle. So even after you get the national dex, you can't and get either of those without trading with the Hoenn game.
Right, you can't actually connect with Ruby in Gen 3.
Until a post game.
Beating the post game.
Until you beat the post game side quest.
Yes.
So you have to be basically done with all the content of the game to use anything use anything aside from Kanto mods.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't.
Why did they do? Why did they do this? Why did they? I
I
genuinely
don't
don't know
understand
how
it.
they thought this was a good idea. Like they
These,
thought people would be mad if they saw new Pokemon in Kanto or something.
these games were. These games were just us them testing. These games were basically just stuff. These games included stuff that would later be in Gen 4.
You know,
This game was just a test.
this is just a test for Gen 4, really.
Let's see. You got a post game island area. With a fire legendary.
A new Pokemon to find.
Yes. I a quest involving in the main involving this game in the antagonists.
The game's antagonistic team.
Is a giant is the post game tower and battle tower or in said area. Yeah. That's what the the Sevi Islands. And yeah, remember these things?
Well, I sure fucking don't.
It's an excuse to catch Johto Pokemon.
Because they weren't obtained. They literally were not obtainable in any Gen 3 game at that point.
Well, obtain some some other Johto mons.
Obtain the Johto mons that you couldn't transfer from Coliseum or XD.
Well, that you could use. Well, this yeah. Mm-hmm.
Literally just an excuse to make these Pokemon exist in Gen 3 because they were just straight up unused and unobtainable until then. And due to the lack of backwards compatibility with Generation 2.
Oh yeah, you can get a roaming legendary based on your starter.
Yeah, you get a legendary beast determined by what starter you picked.
Be careful.
Which is inherently a flawed system. Like I picked this starter, but I wanted a different legendary beast. Why are they tied to starters?
Oh no! Oh, it gets better.
Or Entei and Raikou, no, Roar. And because of how the game is coded, if a roaming legendary uses Roar, the game will think that you will basically despawn. You disable the roaming encounter forever.
Which is weird because GSC didn't do that.
Well, yeah, they made this game's running on a new engine.
Yeah.
And there's bound to be some new bugs that were in the previous entry. Is when you're recoding everything.
And so
Gee, starter-based legendaries sure are stupid. I'm glad they didn't do that ever again. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get. But really, it is just so painfully faithful to. It is faithful to its own detriment.
Yeah, it's faithful, but it results in a very underwhelming and somewhat frustrating experience.
And so, what was that? Was that you actually wanted to use a Steelix? You actually want to use a Steelix in this game? Too bad.
We'll have to wait until Kalos gets a revisit or until Lola gets a revisit for them to consider or them to get another try at Kanto.
But okay, yeah. As you can tell, I'm not really a fan of the first 3 generations. Or this game.
Or Diamond and Pearl.
Oh man, DP. Oh, DP. Oh man. Games that feel blatantly unfinished.
It's because, they were. Or they were literally working on the deck X 3 months before. X not even half a year before release.
It is. Is is and just it is insanely slow.
Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
This game runs at so few frames per second.
Yeah, just everything just
And you move slowly. Why are
the
you...
battles are slow. Surf speed is slow.
Oh, everything feels so slow and painful to play.
So
Through.
mm-hmm.
But like fundamentally, the level scaling is better than the previous games.
Except for the Elite Four.
Because of course you always got to have a stupid level jump for the Elite Four.
49 to 66.
Like, goddamn, why do they keep doing this?
49 to 66. You can't do that.
It's stupid and just why?
You can't fucking do that.
You can't just do that and then give us nothing other than wild encounters to train on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also got the Versus Seeker.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. What trainers are even strong enough to...
I don't know.
Train on though?
I have no idea. Yeah, again, and there's basically nothing. The game, and yeah, no, the game basically doesn't really have much in terms of post game stuff.
So you go to this island.
You go to the battle zone. There's the battle tower.
Mm-hmm.
There's the resort area with nothing in it. There's the survival area with nothing in it except the path to Stark Mountain, where nothing happens.
Just walk through there with Buck.
Oh no! You gotta go through there the first time. And then you gotta go. Yeah, you walk through there, or with him, and he takes the magma stone, and then you gotta go. Talk to him again, and run back.
Look there yourself to return it.
And then get Heatran.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, oh yeah, there's Turnback Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Ave, that's Ave. Ave.
That's a thing.
Ave, that's where you catch Giratina. You can, there really isn't anything substantial in the post game. Just catch some legendaries. That's it.
Yep.
It just feels so. Everything just feels so. It just. It just some of the fucking interior designs. Some of these just.
Oh my god! Some of the the tiling.
Some of the tiling
is ugly as sin in some places.
Also, look at how generic the galactic areas look. Look at how fucking. Also, how generic Stark Mountain looks. I actually say out like the entire battle zone.
Everything is just
the same textures, the same tiles you've seen.
It's very clear these areas are out of latent development and they didn't have time to polish them.
Yeah. But all right, that's C tier. Man, I hope C tier doesn't give a bad impression.
And yeah, now we move on to B tier. Good,
I guess.
As games that are generally more positive experiences than and the stuff in C tier.
Oh god, don't kill me for this one.
Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee. The best balanced Kanto games.
Not saying much though.
No, like they still have their own issues. There's like the fact that they still don't include future relatives.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, oh my fucking god, Onyx exists, but you refuse to add Steelix, so it's useless.
You give Eevee, you give partner Eevee, you can get, Let's Go Eevee can gives you sets for every evolution, including, and Eevee also get it's move tutor it's move tutor gets move tutors for every other type, for every other evolution type, but there's only original 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Why is it like this again?
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile,
And
yeah.
then they removed abilities and held items too for the sake of being simplicity towards people coming in from Pokemon Go.
You think held items are too hard to? You think these are too hard to understand?
I knew what a held item was at age 8.
Yeah. Yeah, at age 9.
I knew what a held item was at age 9.
And what the fuck? Yeah, an ability. Oh, sure, abilities are a little harder to explain.
But like, really?
So that means you have.
Really? So you're saying Pokemon on Ruby and Sapphire are too complicated for a newcomer to play?
Mm-hmm.
Like that entire logic falls apart by Arden just ends up being like and it just ends up being a flimsy excuse. It was for pandering to nostalgia, being like, "Hey, look, people who played Red and Blue, these games got rid of all the future mechanics that you hate so much. Please buy the game."
Oh, but we still have the physical special split and all these new types present, and
And not to mention the fact that the post game is just literally nothing content. It's just go grind.
the fucking the post game is a fucking nothing burger.
Yeah.
Let's see. You have you can catch Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
You can rematch gym leaders. You have mainly just for money. You can rematch the Elite Four. They're really, which why'd they even bother with a round 2 here?
Yeah, like genuinely.
I think the only addition in our Alolan form arms.
And they Mega Evolve.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No, they don't.
Oh.
Oh no, I think
I think Lance Mega
I think
Evolves.
Lance Mega Evolves.
And Lance Mega Evolves.
Also, yeah,
Evolves his
Charizard.
Mega Evolves his Charizard.
There's just no point to it. Right? And having rematches is with restricted decks. And also, the rematches don't go all the way up to 7. Don't even go up to level 70.
And given how easy it is to level up, you're gonna out-level them if you don't go straight to the rematch.
I was like over level 70 by the time I did it.
Yeah.
By the time I did that.
Reach the first time?
I reached the second time.
Yeah.
And also, Candy. Candy's
a feature.
It's really broken. And you can either use the generic Candy, or if you chain a specific, or if you chain a one online,
and you can get Pokemon specific candy that boost all of its that species stats at once.
Yeah. To raise their AV which are awakened values, which we have instead of.
Which is Infinity.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can fucking max out. You can max out all of their stats.
That's genuinely. Does it go into the thousands?
No.
No. You can and get every stat to 999 on any Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, the game's not going to stop you. Now, thankfully, they had the foresight that Pokemon Home, that as soon as you deposit something in Pokemon Home, Omeo loses all of its AVs, so you can't have bring those into games with rank bashes.
So the thing is, there's 145 master trainers.
Or because Well, the 8 of them are
The legendaries and Ditto.
the legendaries, slash mythicals, and Ditto are just talk to NPC.
Talk to NPCs with a high enough level.
He's after raising that Pokemon stats with candy enough.
Yeah, after having a high, after having like combat point level, your combat point is high enough.
Mm-hmm.
And about those master trainers, no, I feel like this is the master trainers are one big misunderstanding.
As to what people meant by wanting more difficulty.
You meant by that you meant I get it.
You want the AI to cheat. Eat and have moves that those Pokemon can't learn normally.
Well, no, it's just that you want to have mirror matches.
And also the AI are designed as if they grinded for 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are.
Yeah. Thing is, you only really need to beat 6
to get red. So just
really
just grind up your team members.
Sure, yeah. It is literally just bragging rights.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, it's to beat them all.
Oh, but it's just so dumb.
Oh, it is really dumb.
Now, all of that aside.
Okay, thing is, that really doesn't do well much. And also, there's the catching system.
Hand cramp moment.
Hand cramps. There's the catching in system, which means you can't use a Pro Controller. Or you gotta use a Joy-Con on it, playing handheld mode. Or use the Pokeball Plus, which has 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And either way, you're gonna get hand cramps either way. You're gonna get hand cramps either way. Hey, you can just catch up on. Yeah, that's also it's really. You can chain stuff together and gain more experience and some rewards.
Or is it also shiny
odds are raised?
Get stupid high in this game. So it's like the easiest game to shiny hunt in out of every game in the series.
Well, I mean, it might be debatable.
Although, it's definitely the fastest.
Yeah.
So you get shiny stupidly fast in this game.
Okay. Not another positive. Don't worry, I call that another positive. Fuck. What is it that I like?
Okay, be positive for once.
What is it that I like about these games? Well, they're probably the best looking in Switch in Pokemon games on the system.
They look really good.
I guess because they had such a short time. They were just made in a short time. It's you can finally play through Kanto with the physical special split.
Yeah.
And actually somewhat updated movesets.
Yeah.
Except some moves are not in the game, like Leaf Blade. And for some reason, so Victory Bell has to rely on Power Whip. Also, the move reminder is literally at the end of the game.
Yep.
Okay, what do I... Oh yeah, secret techniques.
It's Kanto, but without HMs.
So
it's automatically a major plus.
And you can literally go with secret technique. Because of that, you can go literally anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get through Rock Tunnel, you can basically go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
and get every other technique. You go catch you'll catch Articuno and Zapdos if you want to.
Yep.
Go to some high level areas. As take on the gyms and just about any go and take on the gyms in like any order. To be fair, I'm pretty sure that's like the same. The gym order is like the same as in the original games. It was like you crack that fucker open, and when you have access to HM. Oh wait, except it isn't because Surf isn't locked behind an HM.
Yeah.
Locked behind a badge requirement.
Yes, you can actually go basically anywhere after beating Misty.
Yeah.
So 2 badges. Badges 3 through 7 are entirely up to you.
Or you can go wherever you want. Yeah, Kanto was already an open-ended region.
And it opens up way more in this game, which also allows you to go places early and catch specific Pokemon that you want on your team before taking on most of the gyms.
It was like an Electabuzz.
Like an Electabuzz. Like, no, it didn't. His recent playthrough of the game.
Recent as in a year ago.
As in his last playthrough of the game.
And you can also catch the legendary birds.
But they're not going to stop you.
Yeah, 2 of them.
You can catch Articuno and Zapdos.
Sure, you're catching them with great balls, but still.
You can catch Articuno and Zapdos if you want.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to stop you.
I also kind of like the approach to how legendary battles are.
Or you fight them first and then go into
and then get your chance to catch them.
Yeah, and then do the catching minigame with them.
I feel like that's how legendary fights should work.
You beat them and then you
prove yourself
off against a really buffed up Pokemon and you get to catch it.
And instead of throw a fucking quick ball instantly, throw a quick ball in there, and you're done.
And reset until you catch it.
Yeah, that's. There's yeah. I think is they do have standard wild battles here.
Yeah, but they're only for 5 species. Either for or Snorlax, Electrode, or Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres.
And
Mewtwo. And Mewtwo, 6.
Yeah. Also, I think it's cool that I like the new Cerulean Cape.
Even it's no longer a headache.
Like it's just one central area with a bunch of ladder.
Because you have to figure out which ladder you're supposed to climb.
And also like the glowing rock in the center.
Or can sometimes give you a Master Ball.
Or extra fossil.
Oh right, you Master Balls or fossils.
The element of choice.
Choice is only temporary. Obviously, you don't choose a Canter starter. You can find all of them in the wild.
Or get them, You
can also get them in the.
In yellow. In locations in yellow.
So you can also get the gift Pokemon from yellow.
Also, I think Squirtle is no longer restricted to beating Surge.
You don't have to beat Surge to get him yet. You just have to have gotten to into Vermilion.
And I think they're just locked behind catching requirements.
Yeah, all you have to do is have caught a certain number of Pokemon.
On the Hitmons are also just temporary. Hitmons and fossils are also just temporary.
You can find Hitmons on spawning
as rare spawns in Victory Road.
As very rare spawns on certain floors of Victory Road. And Cerulean Caves rocks have a chance. Cerulean Caves Central Rock has a chance. Has to spawn a fossil each day.
I think that's cool.
Pro tip: if you're just going for Dex completion and don't care about using one of the Hitmons, wait until you go through Victory Road and encounter one, catch that one, and then go pick the other from the fighting dojo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I just think that's really cool. Choice doesn't. You aren't weighed down by choice.
And of course, or due to vastly expanded movesets, that's Pokemon that would have been horrible all the other Kanto games.
Also due to the split.
And the physical special split, expanded movesets. Pokemon that would have been horrible in the original games, like Rapidash and Victory Bell, are actually viable. awful now.
Oh, Victory Bell wasn't horrible.
It wasn't.
No, its attack stats are almost the same.
I don't think its moveset was particularly great though.
No, it has fucking buffed Leech Life now.
Yeah, it gets buffed to Leech Life and Leaf Blade.
No, it gets no Leaf Blade.
Leaf Blade
It's Razor Leaf or Power Whip.
Power Whip.
Nice Power Whip.
Does get Leech Life though, and that's a really strong move now.
You can also Hitmonchan can actually use the punches.
It is because they're physical now.
Too bad.
So Bruno's Hitmonchan isn't a laughing stock anymore.
Too bad it doesn't get. An Iron. Too bad it can't use Iron Fist.
That's because no ability.
No, it's worse. Abilities are coded into the game.
There's just a flag that turns them off that set. And you can enable abilities by just switching that flag in the files.
This game has Mega Evolution.
That's cool.
But it's barely in the game. You get the starter Mega Stones right before the 8th gym. And that sucks if you aren't using any. And then you buy the rest of them in the Pokemon League. For like 10,000 each.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Oh, you also get the Mewtwo Knights. It's after catching it.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it like that. Oh, that's dumb.
But, I mean, also I think I like the attempt to try to flesh out the story more. Attempt. Because the Dawn fan in the room. This game features a new protagonist and rival.
Oh, and now
now it gets really complicated.
The Red and Blue's inclusion.
Yeah.
Team Rocket's here, so Red and Blue already went on their journeys, but they didn't confront Team Rocket. Does that mean Red and Blue went on who are older, were born sooner, went on their journeys earlier in this, or does that mean Team Rocket formed later?
I don't know. It raises so. Oh yeah, Green's here too.
A character who just straight up didn't exist in the game universe before.
And also does something to do with has something to do with
wants Mewtwo for some reason, is obsessed with Mewtwo for some reason, and that she won't explain. Apparently, Blaine Ain, who worked on the Mewtwo project, knows her. What does it mean? I have no fucking clue. And they never elaborated on it, like they never will.
And look, there's Archer. Where are the other ones though?
Just Archer. The others presumably didn't join till after Giovanni's had disappeared.
I guess what?
Ariana should have been.
You're telling me. Yeah, those were the two. Those were the two in the Sevi Islands.
You're telling me Ariana wasn't involved in any of this?
And also, I think like there's just an absurd amount of sequel bait.
Namely, Archer or battling you in the post game and then saying he'll be back with a better, stronger Team Rocket.
Yeah.
He's leaving to another region.
And there was also Koga mentioning he was thinking about joining the Elite, moving up to the Elite Four. Or there's Blue just straight up becoming a gym leader in the post game.
And because Giovanni, he was ran out of the position after he was discovered.
Because Giovanni left.
Giovanni left after the position, and someone needed to fill the position.
And it's just there's so much setup, but chances are we'll probably never get it. At least in this timeline. At least in the Let's Go timeline.
Maybe the Johto remakes will be in the same universe.
I don't know,
but not use the same mechanics.
I don't know. The thing is, what other stuff do what other positive? Damn it! I just keep spinning a positive into a negative.
Yeah, you keep doing that. You always do that.
Damn it! And what other things do I like about the game?
You mentioned and sort of making things feel more like alive.
Yeah, you could
like the story scene. Scenes actually have like dedicated cutscenes and character interactions with Trace.
Giovanni trying to bargain with the president. And
Silph, you actually walk in on that.
Team Rocket, the Team Rocket trio, Jesse and James are here. Here have a lot of screen time.
I'm their fun.
The way they just throw the gold teeth to you.
Because Jesse was disgusted by them.
They were trying to look for gold and they got really confused by the Go Park. Or get some a mobile app or something. And also, you even get a post-game fight with them, and that gives them some sort of resolution.
And when they go, or they quit Team Rocket and go off to do their own thing.
Yeah, where they feel at peace.
They finally feel at peace.
Also it's just cool to see them here in the mainline game. Here to see them in a series game, and with them actually with their personalities on display. Yeah, I like the world building.
It's a very charming experience.
You interact with Brock outside of Celadon. On he even mentions how he goes and checks up on gym leader, but they for some reason. But he for some reason got but the
Celadon gym wouldn't let him in. Little nod to Brock's flirtatious, to put it lightly, nature in the anime.
Pewter crunchies.
And pewter crunchies.
Oh, yeah.
Kanto has its own.
Kanto finally has
a status healing snap. Has its own full heal clone.
You know what? That's actually retained that.
So yeah, Kanto now just has that.
That's cool. Yeah, it's mainly a lot of world building things. And, of course, having a soundtrack that isn't held back.
Hardware limitations, and the music sounds amazing in this version.
And
it's literally orchestral soundtrack.
Yeah, the fucking orchestral Kanto. It
really does hit different.
But the thing is, I think they had potential.
These games could have easily been in a higher tier if they didn't hold back so much.
And also probably didn't have forced motion controls in them.
If they didn't force motion controls and didn't hold back, I'm bringing some of the more nuanced mechanics of the series to Kanto.
This could very much be the definitive experience.
I'd argue it's still a more definitive experience than Fire Red and Leaf Green ever will be.
The thing is, tries to be faithful, but at the same time, do something new.
Ooh, and it feels a little weird and disjointed.
Fucking Trace.
God fucking hell, I hate Trace.
He's so nothing.
He's such a boring character. He's such a bland character.
He lost because he was too
nice.
He lost because he was too nice.
What?
It's dumb, but I probably spent too much time on Let's Go.
There was just a lot to say about it.
Yeah, B tier has these higher tiers have a lot more to say.
So next, let's get into Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
I mean, yeah. Oh, what's that? I only put these in B tier.
They're just good.
Yeah.
These games aren't free from issues.
They fix a ton of they're mainly just all the fixes are mainly just due to being in Gen 4.
Or having updated mechanics.
And I guess better movesets. It's you have a Feraligatr that can actually use its water stab.
Yeah, with Waterfall.
And Crunch.
The Waterfall also gets to use Crunch really well.
Yeah, Gyarados ain't held back either.
No.
And you get a free static Gyarados.
So you really get to feel that Gyarados.
Heracross no longer fucking sucks. So if you have the patience, you can use that.
Finally.
You can catch some. Normally Kanto exclusive mons. Through the new Safari Zone, which is really still using it is really dumb.
Yeah.
But still, you can catch Murkrow, Mischievous. Mismagius and Honchkrow. Wait, what do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean?
They only added the evolutions that they literally couldn't lock the player out of.
Those being Yanmega, Licky, Mamoswine, Ambipom, Ambipom, Licky Licky, Ambipom, Memo Swat, Ion Mega. There was what's the other one? The other
Tangrowth?
Tangrowth.
Tangrowth.
Yeah, because they couldn't.
Because they couldn't prevent you from using them since they were and since they evolved with level up moves, and they couldn't remove that without removing the move reminder. Come on, Game Freak.
And yeah, so because Mischievous and Murkrow are fucking terrible.
Like, oh dear
And,
God.
and you need 5 badges to get these. You need 5 badges to get them.
These funds suck ass.
Oh, you can get a Larvitar, but the level curve isn't really high enough for
Not for Larvitar to be for Tyranitar to or actually
for Tyranitar in the main game.
It's just gonna be stuck as a Pupitar.
Or unless you want to get those extra 5 levels, because you have some spare rare candy.
He's flying around after grinding for the Elite Four. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, they didn't.
They kind of failed to fix the level.
Johto's level curve.
Oh, they did slightly. Yeah, I mean,
but it wasn't enough.
I know Faulkner's definitely a higher now at like level 13 instead of level 9.
I mean, so you actually won't be like 3 levels higher than him. And when you fight him after going through Sprout Tower.
Yeah, Claire, I'm pretty sure the ladder, the middle portion, 5, 6, and 7 are higher level too. I mean, the level curve is better for Johto.
And Kanto,
There's
the
also
gym leaders.
They are higher leveled. They are actually higher leveled than the champion.
And the main problem area is that they also increased Red's levels to be higher than Barry's final rematch at
Gym Platinum.
Gym Platinum because they couldn't have him not be the highest level trainer.
By 3 levels.
And around the series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, hey, at least Johto added the Safari his own area, whether you can fight wild Tauros, that give a pretty good experience.
True, that's probably the best grinding spot in the game.
On Johto. I mean, Mount Silver is at least a high level area, but you need so. Oh yeah, the HM problem.
Not fixed.
In fact, made even worse because you need rock climb now.
Because of how Mount Silver is.
Is in some other areas.
That were redesigned to include the HM. So there are just areas that you can't reach until you've gotten all 16 badges.
And also, trainer teams weren't really. Also, gym leader teams were not fixed.
Yeah.
Since they didn't have that issue anymore. They didn't have that development issue anymore. All right, so let's see. Morty still doesn't use a Mischievous. Morty still doesn't use a Mischievous. As instead of a second Haunter.
Or like seriously, come on, that would have been so easy to do.
Or if you want to just replace the Ghastly.
Replace the Ghastly with a Mischievous.
I mean, sure, yeah, Mischievous does fucking suck, but
come on, variety. Not just 3 members of the same
Chuck still
line.
only has 2 Pokemon. Still has Poliwrath and Primeape.
Though there are plenty of other fighting types they could have given him. Like, come on, give him a Heracross, also a Machamp.
Jasmine still has Magnemite, despite them being over level 30.
Hey, like, come on, evolve them. Give her Scar. Her team. How many Pokemon she have?
3.
So she should have had Skarmory instead of one of those Magnemite. One of those Magnemites should have evolved. The other should have been replaced with a Starmurray.
Price doesn't use a Mamoswine.
Despite it being in the game.
He's the 7th gym leader.
I mean, him being the 2nd to last gym leader. Like, come on, you can give him a Mamoswine. To be fair, I don't think they gave any of the new Pokemon onto trainers. Because they just us wanted them to be not properly included in the game.
That's just fucking dumb.
Yeah. I know, I hate that. That pisses me off so much.
You add these, but you don't really show them.
Don't even do anything with them. They're like, just pretend these don't exist. Just if you encounter one, it was an accident.
God, it's like they feel ashamed of these evolutions.
I know, they always do this.
And also, like, I mean, I do like they gave the Rocket Team Rocket they gave Team Rocket the executives actual characters.
I was like, oh my god. They have unique designs, different personality quirks now.
They're basically the same teams from when you fought them before. I mean, basically the same teams from Gen 2, but
Come on, the flair.
they have. There's also this game also did a really good job with fleshing out Silver or his
arc and motives.
Well, his motives.
That's revealed to you in DLC.
Yeah, in the Celebi event.
And so, no, not DLC.
The Celebi event might as well have been DLC.
I guess, yeah, the Celebi event.
And we're look at that. Well, Fire Leaf Rain already kind of alluded to it.
But yeah, Silver, his father was revealed to be Giovanni, and he walked out on him when he was a little child.
He walked out on him when he was just a kid.
So now, how Silver, or as daddy issue, he takes it out on everyone else.
Also, and prioritizes
being strong.
I think despite
because his father left the region, it's interesting. His father left the region because as the Kanto protagonist showed him compassion. So Silver just hates the idea of being nice. Just because that's what had made his father leave.
And because they were weak. He was.
And of course he also thinks that his dad left because he was weak. Sort of lets you understand Silver more.
Too bad that's locked behind an event.
He does get a proper resolution where he kind of sees the error of his ways and tries to improve.
But the Gen 2 kind of did that, but Gen 2.
But it was missing that last step.
And also you fight before you get his weekly remap at the Indigo Plateau. You have to fight. You see him in the Dragon's Den and with his starter out. And
he's actually starting to care for his Pokemon.
And you fight him, and you fight with him against Lance and Claire.
And you kick the Dragon Master's asses.
Look at that! He has a Crobat.
Notably, he didn't have a Crobat.
He did at the very end.
Very end.
But it's just these things. It does so.
It does so much for Silver's character.
Or it just does the game. It's just a lot of extra world building.
And just those subtle things. Things that bring the region together.
You can see what some gym leaders do outside of their gym.
That's a cute little detail.
And that's how you get their number.
Getting the gym leaders' numbers is stupid. Rematching them is also stupid.
And they're tied to certain days of the week.
Times of those days.
Yep. Yep. Of course, because of course they are.
So you have to get up like at 8 in the morning and bring a Pikachu to the power plant, and you have to get Surge's number.
Yeah, that's stupid. Or you gotta massage. Give your Pokemon a massage. For like a whole week.
Or 7 days in a row. For Daisy to give you Blue's number.
Or because
it is kind of funny that Blue won't give it to you himself. Also, you have to get it through his sister.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because tsundere moment.
Yeah, and so I think it's and also just the fucking in redesign ends here.
You're a fire. Have you seen? I'm sure you're familiar with how Morty looks nowadays, because this is the game that I invented that bomb ass design. Have you fucking seen Morty?
He's wearing blue.
In GSC?
He's wearing fucking blue.
He's wearing a fucking blue t-shirt and a headband.
Well, yeah, that's it. Blue t-shirt.
What about this screams any type that isn't just normal type?
How about
exactly the same thing with Price.
Just an old man and with a plain with a t-shirt.
Just an old man wearing a t-shirt. He doesn't... Like nowadays, he's dressed up for winter weather and stuff. And for some reason, Morty's designed after like a hybrid of Miss Magius and Driftblim. Driftblim not even being in this game, but okay.
Yeah, but like yeah, but yeah. I think that's the most significant change. Those some of the biggest.
Those are the two biggest changes, but As other characters got some more minor tweaks.
Oh yeah, the Elite Will and Karen got proper artwork.
Yeah, Will and Karen have proper artwork. Those two characters didn't have official art.
Only I think they only had their mug shots from Stadium.
Yeah, Sugimori never drew these guys up.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. That's just all the redesign is really cool.
I think what Let's Go O and HGSS have in common is they still have some major flaws with them, but they're just kind of a more charming experience than the originals.
Oh yeah, I guess they also both other thing in common. They both have following Pokemon.
Yay! That does not affect their placement at all.
But yeah. But it's just they have that
touch to them.
But yeah, it just feels like they didn't go further.
But if they went further, these could really be something special.
Like, fix the level curve. Fix the level curve.
Don't be afraid to add future relatives.
You add them to the Dex, but you don't even want to show that. And also don't restrict it to just move-based evolutions.
And it's like, come on, where the fuck are Miss Magius and Honchcrow? Oh, do you realize how absolutely useless their Prevos are?
Also, be able to use the Sneasel on a playthrough.
And also, why didn't they keep the Sneasel Ice Path encounter from Crystal?
They didn't keep any of the encounter data from Crystal.
Oh, of course. They really should have also carried over Crystal's encounter data.
And also, like that patch of grass outside at Route 32. Where you can catch a Growlithe.
They should have added that stuff from Crystal.
Oh sure, you can get a Slugma through
this password generator website.
But it's Slugma. It's Slugma.
Of all Pokemon, I know, of all originally post-game exclusive Pokemon they chose to make available to you.
Also, Wooper and Meryl, which are like literally right.
Mareep, you can, no joke, you can literally walk down from the city you're currently in and catch one yourself.
And Wooper is right after the first gym.
And Wooper, you just have to play for the game for like 20 more minutes to get.
And why not make those like? Why not make those?
Okay, what did I say I would have made them?
You said you would have made them like. You just made them like Pichu.
Pichu, if they wanted to have an electric type, that would be a good one to do. Because Pikachu's normally a post game.
I don't know about Sneasel though. Oh, that might be a bit broken.
Sneasel would be too broken. It'd have to be a water type.
A water type there.
What's a water type that's not available till post game in HGSS? Starmie, is that too broken? Would Staryu be good?
Staryu's found like right after when you reach when you take your first step to Kanto.
I mean, it'd probably still count. Like those should have been like Staryu and
Pichu. So yeah, I think it could be a lot. HGSS could be a lot better.
Yeah.
Or with those little things. He's just fixing the core problems that they refuse to address.
Because of course they're terrified of change.
Mm-hmm. So then there's moving on. We have Platinum.
Platinum. It's Diamond Pearl, but better.
It's Diamond and Pearl, but with actually, but it's.
They made the decks. They fixed some of the terrible availability on the decks by adding a few more fire and electric types.
Also, just fixed availability in general.
He made some things available.
You can use a Garchomp in a playthrough.
You can actually use a Garchomp, and if you know where to find that obscure little spot, you can find. You can catch Gibble with only 2 badges.
Since they removed the strength requirement.
So that's great.
You can also the pacing is just also a lot better.
Now you don't pass through Hearthome without
and without doing like anything.
Now you don't pass through Hearthome pointlessly without doing anything there. Or not be able to fight the gym leader for no good reason.
Mainline and Crasher Wake now have different levels. Different levels.
Also to accommodate the fact that you're most likely to fight a Fantina before them now.
That you have to fight Fantina before.
Them now.
Are they now? Are they now actually scaled by progression? and the climax is
jumping all over the place.
the climax pacing is better, I get. Or it actually has, I get, well, not really a resolution.
But there's more or flair to it. There's more build up in the form of the distortion world, which, yeah, it's a glorified strength puzzle. It's just a strength puzzle, really. But the fucking visuals and music here,
it's just, yeah, it's so
the whole vibe of it is an experience.
And also, like, the post game actually has stuff to do.
Now,
you can catch the legendary birds. There's the roaming legendaries. Fuck you.
Who?
You can actually catch the Olga and Palkia after collecting their orbs. But it's in a much cooler way.
Where you actually have to find the orbs hidden
Orbs
in Mount Coronet, and then and climb to the top of the spear pillar,
or
interact with these dimensional rifts.
It's a lot grander.
It has a lot more impact to it than just.
You climb under the highest point of the region.
Go to this cliff face and walk in wall.
Go to this spot.
Go to this pond. Look at the dark spot underwater. Or go find whale.
Yeah. And post game actually has Stark Mountain actually has a subplot. And
it looks like a volcano now.
Yes, it actually looks like a fucking volcano.
Like it should. Like Heatran lives there.
Yeah,
I heard someone once say, "Well, but it's a mountain, not a volcano." Well, Heatran lives there. It should be a fucking volcano.
So there's you actually have wrap up Team Galactic, the rest of Team Galactic there. In the post game,
and there are some stragglers led by Karen, and trying and to cause trouble with the magma orb,
magma stone,
magma stone.
There's also you can there's the battleground. Where you can
rematch every so often. I think it's once per day. Some I don't know exactly how it works, but some of the stat traders, the characters that you have tag battles with, and then certain areas, and the gym leaders will appear. Those will randomly appear in these places.
Let's see. I can actually see how it works.
Yeah, how does it work? Is it like doing certain actions that refreshes it, or is it like waiting a certain amount of time?
Yeah, it's your reward for beating the post game story.
Oh my god, the rematches are done well this time.
To be fair, the gym lead.
Granted, you can't choose who to rematch, but it's way better than whatever.
Up to 4 trainers can be battled once a day. A resetting before entering the battleground will change the trainers who are inside. Yeah, so they rotate.
So it picks 4 random trainers whenever you enter the battleground that day.
Yeah, along with the gym leaders and the stat trainers.
Gym leaders and stat trainers. How many stat trainers are there? 4 or 5?
5. 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are 13 trainers you can rematch on the regular.
Albeit they only have 5 Pokemon each, but
like that's a moot point. They do have really strong Pokemon on at least.
Isn't sure the Elite Four round 2 is basically just higher levels.
But it's just kind of a thing that exists.
Yeah, you can rematch Barry and he there in the survival area. And well, if you're somehow crazy enough to fight the Elite Four 20 times,
you get to level 78.
Level 85.
You get to level 85.
There's also the resort area. You like wasting money?
Yeah, I mean, there's a villa that you can spend Pokédollars on decorations for.
It's really more money that you can actually hold.
Well, it is quite literally a money sink.
Yeah.
But when you get certain decorations, characters get.
You get a lot of these interaction.
And gym leaders and Elite Four members. Maybe?
Yeah.
Gym leaders, Elite Four members, stat trainers even.
Yeah, I think.
Gym leaders, Elite Four members, stat trainers. All sorts of characters can come visit your villa. And comment on the decor.
Yeah, and you get a little bit of flavor text about them.
Text from them. it's a cute little detail.
Oh,
Just a bonus is for when you don't have anything else to spend money on.
yeah, I don't. I personally don't have time to do that.
But it's a nice feature to have.
I'll admit, I did actually max out my villa through Action Replay.
Just to
Just-
see it and see some of the character dialogue.
Yeah.
There.
Because
And a maxed out villa does look pretty swag. If
Yeah.
I do say so myself.
so yeah, platinum is how you should officially play Sinnoh.
If you're going to, if you're not gonna play ROM hacks, and you. Wait a minute for that. Okay.
So yeah, if you don't play ROM hacks,
And you want to play Sinnoh, try to find platinum. Try to find a copy of platinum if you don't own it already. It's just
I guess
the definitive Sinnoh experience.
it still has a lot of Sinnoh's fundamental problems, but
it is overall an enjoyable.
it's a lot
game.
more polished than DP.
And has a lot more soul than BDSP.
And B tier. Oh, so I made this list before.
Yeah.
There's an older version of this tier list I've made, and these games were actually higher.
But like there was a bit recency bias, you know.
Recency bias.
And with that, you could probably tell what games they are. Sword and Shield.
But no, we're still in B tier.
We're still in B tier. Okay,
So
never mind.
These games were somehow higher than they should have
Sorry,
been.
spoilers for the game for what's in A tier, but yeah, X and Y.
What do I?
There is tons of team flexibility, and you're allowed to EV train and your Pokemon natively really easily.
Even if it takes it's fucking forever to do.
It's a bit tedious. They made it accessible. And had a cool little mini game tied to it.
This game introduced the fairy type.
Which was extremely necessary after Gen 5. I was competitive reign of Tydragon and Scrafty.
Yeah, the fucking dragon and fighting types. I was running in rampant.
Rampant in Gen 5's meta. Needed a new counter for them.
But yeah, X and Y are. But other than that,
there are some really good quality of life changes. The experience share. Which unfortunately the game's level curve wasn't balanced around, so you do tend to get extremely over leveled. But
well, no, it's mainly because as you get, it's mainly because they removed. It would be if they didn't remove the experience cap.
Oh yeah, they didn't remove the experience cap.
They did if they removed. Yeah, if they didn't remove.
If they removed you gaining less experience from Pokemon lower level than your own, like if that was still a feature, it wouldn't be a problem. Which rightfully so, they brought back in the next generation.
And that's still and
that's been in the game since, because it's just common sense when you have an experience system like that.
You also have the affection mechanic, which is really
stupidly broken. But
let's see, you have so many different random items applied and moves applied. You have so many. It's basically so many different items and abilities in one. And from shaking off status, its condition,
shed skin,
and taking surviving in hits that would have killed you, like a focus band, and getting critical hit. It's
like you have super luck.
There's just a lot of. It's just a real. And also you gain. Also it's a built-in lucky egg.
Egg too, so you get and of course stacks with the original lucky egg. So you get an even more. So you get even more over leveled if you're playing with your Pokemon.
And you can max out affection within just within like a few minutes, within like 10 minutes or so.
It takes 10 minutes to max out affection.
And if you're doing it optimally,
if you know how to do it optimally,
like play on headed unlimited and reach a certain score, or boom.
Or eat those super or powered Pokepuffs.
Actually, they don't really. That's not really what.
Okay.
That's not real. Those don't.
Okay, it's just your score in the minigame affects your affection.
Yeah, your score. Yeah.
If you rank, I want in one of the minigames, whichever one you prefer. No as choice always is head it.
It's the simplest.
Since one of them is a sorting minigame and the other is a slide puzzle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the most reaction based of them.
Yeah, it's pretty it's affection is a pretty unbalanced mechanic, but hey, at least here you can at least here you don't have to worry. And, but the thing is, the game's already easy enough without of of those extra mechanics.
But they exist.
Yeah, yeah, but and oh yeah, this game has Mega Evolution.
Point is, they added a lot of cool new mechanics and accessibility features.
But
of course, the elephant in the room is the Kalos region as a whole feels empty.
There's very little to do.
Mainly because most of the dev time for this game was spent developing the engine for it.
And modeling every Pokemon.
Yeah, and modeling over 700 Pokemon.
I'm starting to see why this. You see, this was inevitable. Dex cut. The Dex cut was inevitable.
Imagine moving to a new console with new graphics and having to remodel over 1,000 Pokemon.
Or just up-res the same.
Up-res 1,000 Pokemon. Imagine the fucking data bloat for stuff that can't even be obtained.
And so but X and Y is just okay. Sure, I may have had. This is from experience of someone who's played it nearly 40 times. Don't ask. Don't ask. Ask why.
It's just missing a lot of things.
Okay, mainly because the game was because of how easy the game was.
Oh, and the story is like one of the fucking dumbest in the series.
It's one of the worst stories in the series.
He's like, oh my fucking god, what is going on here? Why is Team Player doing this? Why am I supposed to care about these people? Oh, they call me friends, but like,
No, it's not the time. Not the time for the tangent.
We'll get to that this week.
Yeah, we'll get to that this week. Now is not the time for the tier no tangent.
Yeah.
But X and Y, I can play these. I could play these games.
Yeah.
They're
all right.
But the thing is, the post game. What post game?
Laughable post game. You can go on a fetch quest to get Mega Stones. The Looker side quest is also a glorified fetch quest, but arguably has a better story than the main game.
It actually has an actual
there's an actual story and satisfying resolution.
And you can catch Mewtwo and Zygarde. Mewtwo's here for seemingly no reason.
And though according to leaks, it was meant to have an explanation originally.
You can catch. There's a legendary bird.
And you know what we said we'd bring up something later? Well, this is later. It depends on your starter.
Why?
It's a legendary bird that's good against your starter. So if you pick Chespin, you get Moltres. If you pick Fennekin, you get Articuno.
No, it's Articuno. Articuno with Espin and Zapdos with Fennekin and Moltres with. It doesn't even correlate.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You talk about X and Y for a minute.
It doesn't even correlate.
Yep.
Just nice. It feels so dumb. And there's really not much to the games. There's really not much to X and Y. Beyond all that. But I could play them if I wanted to. Even if they're not really the most well designed.
Talk a little bit about B tier.
A tier.
B tier first.
So that B tier.
Yeah, I guess.
So that was B tier. Overall, I think for the most part, it's like stuff it's mainly good. They're mostly good games, but for the most part, could really have been done more. really have done. They could have been better.
Wasted potential.
Wasted potential. Oh, you have a bunch of good ideas as there. But just pretty flawed execution. A tier is just one game.
Yup.
So, oh man, I don't know if this. Not sure if this is a hot take or not. It probably is. Great tier. Well, I mean, I don't really need to explain what that means.
But yeah.
And so we got I definitely get a lot of flack for this one.
Oh boy.
It's Sword and Shield. You know, the absolute these games.
Yup.
As messy as they are, or as blatantly unfinished as they are. Or as half-assed as the story is near the end. And I don't know what it is. I can't bring myself to hate them. I don't know what it is. I can't make myself hate these games. It's just they do a lot right. They do a lot right. In terms of updating in a bunch of mechanics. You know, like they're no longer being a cap on vitamins. Also, there's just no cap on how many items you can. Just use multiple items at a time. Which definitely helps. There's now experience candy. Which that come in different sizes.
Depending on how strong that raid you.
Yeah. Yeah, depending on how strong that was, it is. It is there. It is showing the rate. It is. It is there. Is yeah. And obtaining berries is pretty easy too. We just shake some trees. But oh, be careful. Be careful. Watch for the greedent. Watch the Swabiter greedent. Sometimes Applin, I guess.
Or Cherubi.
Or Cherubi, yeah. It depends. And so yeah, it depends. And then there and what else do I? Yeah. For the most part, I think the story's pretty good.
Obviously, the climax.
Except for the climax, which the climax smell. The climax just feels the climax feels insanely rushed though.
Which it almost definitely was.
It almost definitely was rushed. And also just the pacing of the game at that point. It was a bit of a mess. Okay, he's back. Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing that keeps it out. The biggest thing that keeps it out of S tier is that, well, it's the fact that the climax is miserably paced.
It's
It's a slog to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's like an hour of gameplay, but like, come on, it's just a massive bump.
Let's see. You make it to Winden. You make it to Winden. You do the first round. You bet. you then do like the semifinals. You do the semifinals. Then you go chasing around on employees. You go through Rose Tower. Then you go back then you do the finals. Then you gotta do all the legendary stuff. Then you fight. Then you finish the game. Then you fight the champ. Then you fight Leon, and then finish the game. Or then just so much. It's just so. You just do so much. There's just so. Yeah, it does. It feel the ending is like the climax is insanely rushed. Also, God, need I mention like having? Did I mention this game has 3 rivals? This game has 3 rivals, but doesn't really spend that much time with most of them. Yeah. Yeah, you run to beat a few times, and then he gets shafted, and then he gets sidelined. In EA. Yeah, as long as off screen. All his character development happens off screen. And oh yeah, the other one. Oh yeah, Marnie. Let's see. She's not really in the game that much. She's barely in the game. Aim doesn't really have much of a character, much development, and hell, the fucking hell, if funnily enough, Pierce has actually does more to the story than she does. That's pretty funny. Well. Yeah, like I said, the one thing holding this back from S tier is the the climax, is the end game pacing being really slow, really tedious. Okay, done. Yeah, the climax being pretty poorly paced. Aced. Oh yeah, and mainly also the region itself is kind of just literally like a straight line.
It's literally just basically a straight path you go along.
But this game did. But I mean, that is like just base game here.
Your DLC added more content.
There's a lot more content in terms of DLC.
Isle of Armor feels like stuff they didn't have time to include in the base game, like starter Gigantamaxes, as well
as being able to Gigantamax,
as well as Venusaur or Blastoise, and the ability to give a Pokemon Gigantamax. Give an eligible Pokemon a Gigantamax form.
Being able to do that. But that's mainly what Isle of Armor was for, adding stuff that should have been in the base game.
Yep. Crown Tundra added some more content in the form of a raid gauntlet and a handful of new legendaries.
These were easy for their own storyline.
Fine. Something seems familiar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I Crown Tundra's structure was a test for
That's for the treasure hunt.
as for how Scarlet and Violet were structured.
Yeah.
They do this a lot, and they have a little a random extra thing and that foreshadows some of the structure of the next game.
Yeah, I mean, that's like think kind of mentioned with like the Sevi Islands or some shit.
And how it foreshadows Sinnoh.
Foreshadowed Sinnoh's post game.
Even how that was structured.
Yeah, that just hit me. The thing is, Crown Tundra was I don't know if armor is good for what it is. It is, but there isn't much to it. But Crown Tundra, I think I'll admit, Crown Tundra was like the last time I've actually really given actually like had fun with a newer game.
Yeah.
And I'll actually admit that.
I mean, it's the last time you've played a newer game aside from BDSP, which was
a waste of literally a waste of my time.
A waste of time.
I couldn't get into. I just couldn't
get into Legends Arceus.
It's mainly I've just yeah. A Crown Tundra.
Someday you're able to enjoy Scarlet and Violet.
But Crown Tundra was just Crown Tundra is what the stuff that was felt like stuff was missing from newer games.
It's the stuff that felt like it was missing.
And let's see, you actually have legendary hunts that finding legendaries actually feel where you actually just go out of your way to find them after starting the quest.
Yes, that's cool.
You can even catch the Swords of Justice. And you can get a Keldeo in game.
Yep, you get a Keldeo as a DLC bonus, so that's pretty cool.
And also this they added the Galarian Star tournament.
Yeah, and with tons of extra inter-character interactions.
And then updated
updated teams with DLC mons.
Oh no, not right. Just higher levels.
Higher level teams needs for more optimal level grinding.
And also,
if you're not just doing a bunch of raids for that.
Also, just money, just a lot of money, mainly for money.
Lots of money.
You get a ton of money for the tournament. But Sword and Shield as a whole package.
Edge is a great experience.
And yeah, I know. I don't know. I can't bring myself to hate the game.
And despite its many obvious flaws.
But I don't know. I can't bring myself to hate it. It does a lot right, but it just needed more time.
Yeah.
And at least it's not. At least it didn't release each of the shitload of bugs, of glaring bugs.
Yeah, that would be a shame, wouldn't it?
All right, that's the only thing in A tier.
And now we move up into S tier.
Amazing.
Amazing games, absolutely stellar games, and highly recommended.
So there's Pokemon Black and White.
Well, a soft reboot of the series. These are the wholly original Pokédex and some new spins on things in an attempt to make things a bit fresher.
Yeah, I'd say, but while also keeping the same structure.
Yeah. That abandoning the structure that people enjoyed.
Yeah. Also actually really focusing going in on the story.
This time around,
in characters.
Is it having probably the most memorable story?
I mean, one of the best story is
in the series. We'll have to wait to see how generally. We'll have to wait to see some more assessment or different opinions on Scarlet and Violet's story. I personally think they did a great job this time around, for the most part.
But that's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there. We're not really going into that.
We'll talk about that. Well, that's probably for next. That's for next year to talk about.
That's something we'll discuss next year.
The same goes for Legend story.
We'll discuss Hisui and Paldea and their stories next year.
So yeah, Black and White just do a lot. Just do so much.
Yeah.
And also, yeah. And also, hey, a level curve that's not stupid.
Wow.
And goddamn.
Genuinely might be the first Pokemon games that actually have a good level curve.
Okay, except for maybe the post game though.
Post game jump.
Post game is another 20 level jump.
Is stupid, but as far as the main game goes, it's probably the first Pokemon game that actually have a good level curve.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I don't know what are you doing if you haven't played Black and White.
What are you doing? Go play them.
This is
they're really good.
Oh yeah.
There's not really much else to say about them.
I mean, and in terms the other game in S tier, the other game in S tier is I may be biased,
but Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah. This is what I want in a remake.
Yeah.
This is what I want. It actually goes further. It actually goes further.
Or the idea of a remake, more so than and the games that came before and after.
And it feels a little more. It feels a little more like a reimagining of sorts. Or it's that actually try. Actually fleshes out a lot of characters. There's the fucking redesign, the character redesign.
Are absolute baller. And Wally becomes a memorable character.
Having his own battle arena.
Genuinely, who fucking cared about Wally in RSC?
He had his own battle arena now. He has his own battle arena now. His own battle theme. His own theme.
An awesome redesign. Mega Galade designed specifically for him. Him to use. Here's talk about a glow up.
Then there's like Team Magma and Aqua, having more personnel, making them more distinct.
Even if the story feels more like it was designed with Team Aqua in mind.
Because but the redesign, they actually gave the fucking admins proper designs.
Like, oh my god, they looked so boring in the
Instead
original.
of just basically just being grunts.
With a little extra flair.
Yeah.
They made the admins memorable.
And Maxie and Archie don't look as fucking generic.
Maxie and Archie also have amazing redesigns too.
They went all in with the pirate motif for Team Aqua.
And it is great.
Archie has a fucking wears a fucking anchor
around his neck as his keystone. And he has a massive score to match his torpedo.
Yeah.
And of course, Team Magma looks
fucking
the grunts goofy.
Fucking they now have Courtney now has fucking horn.
They now have more of an Oni theme to them.
It's more demonic theme.
More demonic theme. Maxie is just a summoner with circulation issues.
His glasses are his keystone.
That is amazing.
His glasses are the keystone.
Or as Maxie might be loved.
Oh, fucking nerd. It just adds so much.
Adds so much character, fleshes out and rebalances the Hoenn region. The experience share actually works in this game's favor by just automatically correcting.
By just removing the need to grind. Also, you have all of the features from X and Y.
And of course, all of the extra content from X and Y has returned.
And yeah, the PSS Pokemon Me and E, which is really weird that it's still called that.
Yeah, considering that's French.
This is Japan.
And we're in Japan now.
We're in Kyushu. And super training. There's also and you can also do. There's also stuff like being able to switch in post game, letting you have both bikes at a time at the same time.
By visiting a specific NPC.
Is there an NPCs? Thank you.
You can unlock a much more efficient traversal that way.
You also get the Eon Flute, so there's
So
basically...
removing the need to for fly. If you don't mind not doing it instantly.
Even though, you just need to know where our places are.
Yeah.
Or no, it's just fun to on the sword.
It's just so fun to soar around, and there's even encounters up there.
That's
yeah.
You can
Are
also
they overboard encounters. I don't remember.
There's some fly. You can check some random flying types.
Are they like modeled on the overworld?
No,
no.
That was just a generic flock of.
Yeah, you could run into Pokemon up there too. You can see them flying around, and you can slam into them if you want.
You can catch that's how you catch legendaries. Catch a lot of the legendaries.
He's on a Hoopa ring.
On a Hoopa ring. Oh right, this is the game that added fucking added on Bound Hoopa.
A fucking baller.
And it's kind of part of the kind of the reason behind the legendaries.
He's being here, so they actually gave an explanation for it, of course.
Oh yeah, sure. There's no battle frontier.
Like, that doesn't matter to someone who didn't care for the battle frontier to begin with.
There's move tutors. There's a bunch of battle items you can buy.
Well, from just doing the battle tower.
Battle Mason.
The Battle Maison, also here from X and Y, and still in French and with the same characters.
But they actually did find a way to explain that.
All right,
with the fact that the battle chatelaines are actually from Hoenn.
Oh, they're from Hoenn, and this is a prequel.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot this. Hoenn takes place earlier in the timeline than Kalos. They later relocated to Kalos.
Yeah.
So they do actually explain it.
Did they actually come up with explanations behind that?
Some of the weird inclusions.
Yeah, sure. Battle Frontier project has started.
That is kind of a cock tease.
It is because we didn't have time. Our kids these days have smartphones.
But kind of a moot point, IMO.
Because I personally don't really use. I personally never really use the Battle Frontier. The Dex nav.
Nav lets you.
And also
hidden abilities and egg moves.
The Dex nav is a bit unreliable.
Well, but it does grant you access to a lot of things you didn't have in the original games, which also inherently fixes some of the availability issues.
Well, mainly it's after you get the national Dex, though.
After you get the national Dex. But they did also fix some of the availability issues.
Hey, you actually want to use you want a reason to use Roselia?
Guess what? This game added future relatives.
You want to use a Gallade?
It is. All the evolutions to Hoenn the pre-evolutions to Hoenn Pokemon from Sinnoh.
You want to be weird and use a Probo Pass?
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Go ahead, yeah.
They're not going to stop you.
They actually did. You want to use a dust.
Is it New Mauville, the electric field?
Yeah. Want to use a Magnezone?
Head to New Mauville.
And that's actually where you find it.
You actually find it in New Mauville, so you can just have a Magnezone immediately after catching it, so that's amusing. It does.
Sure, it also. Okay, sure, it doesn't. It's not. Sure, it also doesn't have like the gym leaders have. Still just have their RS teams.
It's not 100% perfect,
but still having Watson with no Manic Trick or Norman's stupid team.
But it's kind of a minor point to everything else these games do right.
There's an actual round 2 with Megas.
It's like, holy shit, they have a Mega for every Elite Four. Okay, so Sydney has Absol.
Phoebe has Sableye.
When you were introduced in this game.
Glacia has Glalie.
He also introduced in this game.
Drake has Salamence.
Also introduced in this game. Mostly new ORAS Megas, and of course Steven has his own new ORAS Mega, Metagross.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You have a 700 BST Pokemon for the final boss. Good luck.
That's also through main game too.
Yeah.
They also you're also handed a free Mega Eggalante.
Yeah.
Halfway through the game.
That's a little weird.
700 BST.
Oh hey, look! You can use it to fight Steve with the Metagross.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
This is amusing, at least.
And also, Maxie and Archie use Mega Camerupt and Sharpedo. Mega Evolution feels naturally integrated.
Without like being like, hey, check out this cool new feature. It's just.
And we're not even going to use it that much.
So that we're not going to use it as much. A lot of important trainers actually utilize it.
And Wally has his Mega Galane as mentioned, and your counterpart has
Mega Evolves their starter.
Or basically a post credits.
Let's match with them.
It's
previously mentioned Elite Four champion in Maxie and Archie.
Oh yeah, the Delta episode.
In the Delta episodes, does Zinnia Mega Evolve?
Yeah, Mega Salamence.
Zinnia has Salamence again. I don't know why they didn't go with. Is Dragonite and Hoenn?
Well, it's post game, so I don't.
She could have like. No, why do you say Dragonite?
Garchomp.
Garchomp is post game. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Should give her like Mega Garchomp. But I digress. That's not that big of a deal.
Oh yeah, the Delta episode. I didn't even mention. Well, I mean, it's basically just running around and
reading some dialogue, something about parallel timelines. I'm explaining why this is a different timeline than.
Okay, we didn't need to do that. We didn't need to do that.
The original RSE.
And this was when
the war completely fell apart.
Sure. Yeah. No. Go ahead. Explain each individual copy.
It has its own timeline.
I know. And basically explain that. I don't think I needed an explanation.
That's just bizarre. What is this?
See, this got way worse in Gen 7. Gen 7 jumped the shark with it.
Yeah. Anyway, but as you get to ride Mega Rayquaza into space and have a duel with Deoxys. You get to catch Deoxys.
My advice: just throw your Master Ball.
This is probably the hardest thing in the game to catch.
So... That's because you gotta repeat the catch Rayquaza.
If you fail, you gotta
fight Rayquaza.
Well, you know what I would do? I would try to catch it legit. If it's like getting really late and it's starting to struggle, then use your Master Ball.
Because base form Deoxys is pretty frail.
Bring a false swipe. If you know this is a thing, have something with false swipe on your team. Preferably like a dark type or something.
So don't worry, if you rematch the Elite Four, you can just...
Or you can try again. And it's just kind of a hassle to get another attempt at it.
Because, yeah, you gotta rematch, fight Rayquaza, catch Rayquaza, fight Zinnia again. And yeah.
You don't get to keep Rayquaza if you don't catch it?
You do, what? No,
like if you reset.
If you reset, you gotta catch it again.
Yeah. And do that whole. Okay, we rambled on about catching Deoxys for like.
But there's also just ORES does so much.
And honestly, I consider it the gold standard of remakes.
This is what they should be. Taking the original,
modernizing things, updating it, breathing new life into that region.
And just fixing in problem.
Fixing a lot of the glaring issues that the originals had.
And it's just...
This is the remake where they went all out.
And probably will never top that.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't... And, this video is getting long enough. And we still got another list after this.
Let's go. Yeah, we've already talked for more than 2 hours.
So there's a S, and well, at the very top.
S plus.
Absolute
Noah's favorite pair of games.
This should be
no surprise to anyone, and also because we haven't mentioned it yet.
Pokemon Black and White 2. This is peak.
Peak Pokemon.
This is peak. This is the. You fucking peaked in 2012.
Perfect level curve, or engaging story that follows up well on the previous. It's both new and returning characters. There's really cool time skip elements to it.
Tons of stuff.
The most extra content of any Pokemon game ever.
Or for real. New areas, new legendary.
He's a very well balanced regional dex, which we'll get to. Of course, Unova has some fun, really fun characters.
There's the fucking Pokestar Studios.
Which is,
Even if
which
it's
is sort of this generation's replacement for contests.
even if you're kind of forced into it.
At one part, it takes like 15 minutes of your time.
Even if it's really it's awkwardly thrown and forced into the story.
Kind of a moot point, though.
Yeah, the World Tournament, and which is just a load of fan service without compromising without
compromising the integrity of the story by, like, this is just generally accepted to be non-canon.
Everything past except for the Unova leaders.
Everything that isn't the Unova leaders tournament is basically not canon.
And it's just it is just this feels like a culmination.
A culmination of everything the sprite-based Pokemon games have been working towards.
It doesn't get any better than this.
And I would be shocked if something did manage to get better than this with the current state of the franchise.
It's a full, complete package. It's with just a lot to stuff you could still which you can play, which has like you could do for like 100.
You could easily sink hundreds of hours into this game and still have more stuff to do.
Oh yeah, well, if you haven't played these games,
what are you doing? Go play. Have a save file.
If you connect your save data.
If you connect to your save data from on one of the original games. It has to be the matching version.
Yeah, matching version.
If you connect, Pokemon White save data with White 2 or Black save data with Black 2, you can get special. You can get new story. You can get new
flashbacks.
New flashbacks.
That fill in the blank. That fill in the blank. Or just for.
And some direct references to your player character's name from the previous game.
Or just your player's name being there in November Town.
As well as being able to some minor things like transferring your in your musical props.
I think that was. I don't know if
I remember that's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
You could transfer your musical props from a Black and White 1.
And it just flashbacks to like fill in the blank. Fill in the blanks or whatever the fuck this cutscene is, or the fuck the nectarine in Memory Link is.
Bones.
Bones. Oh wait, it has to do with Clay Tunnel.
Yeah.
But it was just it's so weird.
It's so weird out of context.
But yeah, either way, play Gen 5.
Please do yourself a favor. If you're a fan of the Pokemon series and you haven't played these games, please do yourself a favor and go give them a try.
So we've been talking for like over 2 hours now, but this was kind of a last minute addition.
We're gonna vibe check the Pokédexes.
This shouldn't be as long.
Now, let's start with how do we judge this tier, which is, we're not ranking Johto Dexes because they're basically just Gen 2 National Dex.
It's just the National Dex just reshuffled.
And doesn't properly encapsulate the stuff you can encounter in the Johto region.
And
it's just weird and it feels wrong to rank them.
D tier is, as I mentioned,
Diamond Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
Oh my god, what the fuck? 150. 2 fire types, 3 electric types, 2 ice type. I've only a few of the new evolution.
And they're available.
Only like 5 new evolutions are available.
Less than half of them.
It's pretty awful.
It's miserable. And there's a reason Platinum updated the Pokédex.
So speaking of which, it's in C tier. Here we have all of Kanto.
We have all of Kanto. As we mentioned, talking about our RBY's balancing. You like having having 20% of the Pokédex filled with poison types.
Uh-huh.
You like one dragon type, one ghost type.
Pretty terrible, pretty laughable fire types.
Laughable fire options. And other than Let's Go.
Yeah. You like those? You like that? And
there are just too many issues with the Kanto Dex X, which is the main reason it's so frustrating that they won't update it, because the original Dex was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's like just add new evolutions
and new evolutions and stuff. Maybe add some more fire or add some more fire types. Like dragon types.
Yeah,
types, ghost types. Just add some stuff to flesh out those types that have barely anything in there.
Then there's the RSE. There's the Hoenn Dex. X across find all of them. Find all of them. The Hoenn X.
It's
200
just
just
evolutions because it doesn't fix the type variants too much.
200 just isn't enough.
It really isn't.
200 isn't enough for balancing.
Okay, 200 can be enough.
It can be.
You have to like really think a ton about it.
Think a ton.
Think a ton.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to think a lot about what you put there. What you put there and where.
Yeah, because like for example, a Pokédex like Kalos feels extremely disjointed.
Well, we'll get to that.
But yeah.
So
you can't just put anything that in there. Or it has to feel right for the region.
And
that's it.
And Platinum. Then onto the Platinum Dex. The first time a third version updated the Dex because of how laughable DPS was. It's basically just all of the new. It's basically just all of the new evolution, all the new evolution and lines that weren't in DP.
Yep.
And the addition of the Houndour line for extra fire types. The Swablu line. I don't know, for some reason I don't need another dragon. And then Absol.
Because Absol.
Well, I guess it makes sense.
To have here.
Yeah, most of the Platinum Dex is just the Platinum Dex. The Dex expansion is, yeah, it's only from 150 to 210. Mm-hmm.
It just escapes C tier.
Yeah.
There is a decent attempt to correct the problems with the original Dex.
This is basically what the Pokédex should have been, and more. And what DPs should have been,
but of course it wasn't.
And yeah, you have like and so that's the C tier. The really Pokédexes.
Yeah. Oh, Platinum wasn't C tier too.
Yeah, Platinum was in C.
Right. D tier was the original.
D tier is the DP stuff.
Now we get into the good Pokédexes.
That's just one entry. That's X and Y.
Which is X and Y's Pokédex.
Oh, but it has 450 Pokemon.
All right. What I want to clarify here, X and Y doesn't have a problem with
its size.
With options. And there are plenty of options, plenty of good options. The problem is the selection of Pokemon.
B, for bloated.
Because why does it have most of the regional bugs, birds, and mammals? We didn't need to eat Butterfree in the same game that added Vivian.
We didn't need Pidgeot in the same game with Talonflame.
Why is Noctowl here as an endgame encounter?
Also has nearly every pseudo-legendary. I think it has every pseudo-legendary except for Metagross.
Dunsparce.
Spinda. That's also a really late game encounter for some reason.
Like, it feels bloated with all these Pokemon that are extremely redundant.
Yep, there's 150 on each dex.
It's like a Hokinto reference.
So the thing is, well, given that there was meant to be another portion of Kalos that was scrapped,
Probably was gonna go up to like 600.
and
Have most of the Pokemon that existed at the time.
I don't know if that would be better or worse.
Hell, bold claim, and maybe they were planning on literally having it be a catch-em-all pair of games.
And yeah, you could get everything through both.
And so we become both combined versions. You could get it all 721 Pokemon. Possibly more if they had more time to add more.
Yeah.
Or like Magirna.
Yeah.
Blatantly.
That literally just feels like
a blatantly scrapped Talisman.
Fucking floor cannon. That's French for flower, or it just feels. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I think maybe that's what they wanted to do, but we'll probably never know. Also, I think remember like, stuff like Avalon being in a 3-stage line.
Right, wasn't there a scrap middle stage listed in the data?
Yeah.
Or was that Avalon was listed as the second evolution into Bergmite?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a scrap middle stage at some point.
Yeah, I think there was stuff that was cut. There were stuff that was cut, but I don't know how they probably plan to include everything, but they barely had it. They mostly spent all that time on the engine.
And as previously stated.
And then they had a deadline. So
whoopsie.
So X and Y's Pokédex is just bloated.
No availability problems. A lot of coherency problems.
Yeah. So then we move up to A tier.
Your great Pokedexes. There's maybe only one or two nitpicks about them.
Black and White. It has a really solid selection.
Of options. Just a few things that things holding it back.
Like maybe your water options aren't really that great.
Spectacular. If there's electric, you really only have Galvantula to rely on.
Because Electros is not worth the effort. It's
Urge of Strike as a moveset wasn't very great in introduction, and Emolga. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Emolga. It's up.
And the fact that literally all of the new flying types that aren't endgame suck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Sigilif.
Oh, Sigilif's the only good flying type until endgame. In white.
What?
Until endgame in white.
Oh, right, yeah. All right, yeah, because Braviary's exclusive.
Black's just straight up only has Sigilif as a good option.
Mm-hmm. And so, all right, so, yeah, Black and White, it overall has a solid dex.
It's just a few issues that don't really stick out too much unless you're analyzing them.
And the Alola games aims are 300 Sun and Moon is 300 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, less than Kalos.
That's because it actually decided to be careful. It carefully chose what was in there.
Ignoring his distaste for Alola as games.
Games that
we're specifically
I'll
looking.
Say that
the Pokédex selection is really good.
And then there's Ultra, which bumps it up to 400.
It didn't really negatively impact it.
I had a lot more options, but
it didn't really negatively impact my. It did add all the fossils. It might have been S tier if it weren't for the fossils.
It just bloated the decks with all the fossils.
But that said, most of the new additions are fine. They added some really good stuff.
Halucha.
Like Halucha, which kind of counterbalances as with the stupidity of the fossil bloat. Win some, you lose some. So at least it stays in the same tier as
At least they didn't throw all the post-game legendaries onto the decks.
Fucking God, imagine if they did that. How that would be miserable.
Yeah. So then there's then there's a Sword and Shield also at 400. We're we're just gonna we're just judging base game here. We're just judging base game here.
For the sake of simplicity, we're ignoring the DLC because we don't know how we would handle those.
That's because also a lot of the stuff is carried over from a lot of the stuff that was shared from.
It was overlapped with base game.
Availability is kind of weird when it comes to those. Yeah, sort of. It's a pretty, and also everything has a reason to be there.
They really did think about how what should return.
And they were very
Very careful with what was added to make sure it made sense in the region.
Yeah, clearly they've gotten a lot better with that.
I think Gen 7 was when they really started doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, Sword and Shield has a pretty decent selection, and
is that for A tier?
Yeah.
So and now we go to S tier, the best Pokédexes, and I think there's 2 entries here.
Yep, there's black and white too, which is it takes the Univadex, adds a bunch of old stuff.
Fixing, basically eliminating the criticisms that are the major criticisms of the original Univadex.
Adding more.
No problem with electric variety. Add Ampharos to the Pokedex. Clang not cutting it for you as a steel type.
You have Magnezone.
Magnezone and Lucario in the game now.
Yeah, right. Magnezone is really good for black and white too.
Yeah, like insanely good.
But so, you want a fire type? You want to actually go to fire and water options?
No problem. You can catch a Volcarona with 5 badges.
Or an Arcanine.
And then
Arcanine or Mortar.
Growlithe and Magby are readily available.
Those 2 are right outside right before the second gym.
Yeah, Growlithe and Magby are right before the second gym.
You can also you can catch a Volcarona before after 5 badges.
Granted, it's underleveled, but like it shouldn't like a 2-stage mon shouldn't have taken that long to evolve in the first place.
Yeah. Age 59. What the fuck? There's also you can also in terms of water you can also catch water lets you catch a Azumarill.
Which of course has access to huge power.
Mm-hmm.
And gets Waterfall.
Yeah. Albeit that's literally that's like an end.
Aquatail is serviceable until then.
Because Waterfall's literally right at the end of the game. Just us patches some holes.
Patches the holes in the Univadex. Holes in the black and white decks. And the other S tier Pokédex.
Which is actually the game like I said, didn't play.
We evaluated the Hisui decks and literally couldn't find any big problems with it.
Sure, albeit even if a lot of them are, even if a lot of a majority of the stuff is like really not usable. Given how the game is very speed oriented.
And ignoring that, the overall selection of Pokemon in Hisui is top notch, really. You could tell they thought very, very carefully about what should be included.
They only had excluding legendaries, 224,
or regular Pokemon undefined in the region,
and
or through rifts.
Yeah, 224 that's what you meant. 200 can't with the RS with Gen 3 with Hoenn and Dex.
Something around 200 can work, or if enough thought is put into the into what you add.
220. 224 is a pretty good selection.
Yeah. Now, 224 sounds small compared to Gen 7, 8, and 9, and compared to other Pokemon games of that era, of this era. But
I think Legends was small because Legends Dex was small because it had to be.
Or each Pokemon on make sure they worked in several different contexts. Like how would they react when being fed or hit with an item? On which ones would be aggressive, which ones would flee, which ones would have specific behavior, have different behaviors, or does there interact with other Pokemon? On it was.
Yeah, it was very. They had to
They
choose.
kind of had to be very selective with what was included, and it turned out really well.
Oh.
And I genuinely don't think a single Pokemon is out of place in Hisui.
Yeah, everything has a reason. Everything's there.
Aside from the obvious stuff that was delegated to the Rifts.
Yeah, like Sneasel on Porygon.
Obviously, they couldn't not include all the Sinnoh Pokemon. That includes Porygon, Z, and Magnezone, and the fossils. Also, those are Rift encounters.
Yeah.
Or same with Weavile.
Yeah.
All being able to encounter or Jotoni and Sneasel through Rifts.
With that, okay, yeah, I think the Legends Dex is actually pretty well balanced, and despite the small number, the comparatively small number, newer games.
And I really think and you have plenty of options for team building there.
So, okay, we've been talking for.
We were talking for 2.5 hours, for almost 2.5 hours now. So now I knew this video today was going to be a big day.
Also just is a bit of behind the scenes. I barely got done with Gen 3 in time.
I'm literally started like mid last month playing through
Sapphire,
Sapphire, and then had to do Emerald.
And then there was
and the month and past week was busy. So it took quite a while to actually finish Emerald. Like you, no joke, literally finished playing through it yesterday.
And I'll admit I had to it for Steven. I
had to use rare candies, even though I urged him against using any cheats that would mask any of the inherent problems with the game.
It was just this one post game fight.
It was just one post game fight, just a matter of completing it. I doubt that it didn't affect the overall ranking. Still would have been C tier regardless.
Yes, but yeah. All right. So tomorrow.
We'll be taking. We'll be talking about another big part of Pokemon. The human characters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We're saving discussing the Pokemon themselves starting on the 11th. And if you catch my phrasing there, but for the next 4 days,
we'll be talking about
the human characters, as discussed there. Gym leaders, then tomorrow's gym leaders. The 8th is Elite Four and Champions, and so the 9th is protagonists, professors, and rivals. And 10th is villains as antagonistic teams.
Villains,
Eames. And of course, as said, tomorrow we will be discussing every gym leader and I believe trial captain.
Yeah.
Every gym leader and kahunas.
Yeah.
Every gym leader, trial captain, and kahuna. All the way through from red, blue, and yellow, from red and green to sword and shield.
And we'll also be my personal opinions on them and evaluating them.
We'll have 2 separate lists for them, which is why it's going to take so long. There's going to be both a list based on personal opinions, and I wonder which one we should do first.
Sure.
List based on personal opinion and the characters, like their whole vibe and how well how memorable or fun they are. And then a critique of how balanced their teams are.
All right. So okay, with that being said, this video's gone on long enough. So
That being said,
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
and
And I'm Noseran.
I'm Amaray,
And
and
bonjour,
bonjour, my wonderful viewers. See you in the next video.
Yeah.
Yeet!